It's just not the most comfortable thing in the world, but he'd come off of it at home. And from my understanding, what you guys were concerned about was the feeling of suffocation.
Right.
You didn't want him to feel like he's suffocating because he didn't have enough oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Dr. Hussein was mentioning the medications to help him feel like some morphine helps.
Which would be Roxanol.
Yeah,
I'm
Roxanol,
not-
okay.
But Roxanol is a morphine. I mean, it's the same principle, you know.
So it's gonna decrease that sensation.
Right.
Not because he doesn't have enough oxygen. It's gonna be
Right.
more just comfortable. It's gonna make him
Comfortable,
comfortable.
okay.
Yeah.
It would
Okay.
be similar things that we would have had to do with this one.
With his
Right.
With
Yeah.
the Shirley.
Okay.
It would be similar medications that would.
Dr. Frank, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
So, now, he's got 3 more kids coming in from California, they're driving, so we're looking at 4 days. So, Debbie, Allie, and Pat, they're coming.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're driving out here, Dad.
So this transition, and then his wishes too. He pointed that out to you, Dr. Frank, about leaving the hospital, the life expectancy versus staying in the hospital. You may have a couple months versus going home. And
Well, I would say the life expectancy is generally unknown, but you do have the risk with going home, especially not having the high oxygen requirements. You could be at risk with possibly passing sooner if you're not able to safely oxygenate at that lower level. So that is a little bit more worrisome, especially since there is a very big discrepancy between what he's getting in the hospital and what he would possibly be getting at home.
And I'm thinking before we even start doing this lower oxygen and seeing if we can wait until the other family gets in.
I think one other thing I will point out to you guys here is I'm just going to remind you, if he has any additional insult on top of what he has now.
I understand,
Things,
but I do want.
No.
Yeah.
So my point is, if he just hangs out in the hospital, that's where all the sick folk are. That's where you're more likely to
Yeah.
catch something.
Right.
So you have to balance these things out. So, you know, the person next door could have flu or some other respiratory illness. So when we talk about risk, it's oxygen, but it's also catching something. And the bugs that folks catch in a hospital environment are the superbugs that are really resistant to anything. So I also want to put that into your thinking process and equation.
I understand.
What I would suggest, and kind of following along the theme that Dr. Hussain is talking about, that he's still at high risk of decompensation in the hospital. And right now, his code status is full code, unless it has changed this morning. And what is going to happen is that if he decompensates and we cannot oxygenate him, Mr. Neff, we will put you on a ventilator, and then you will not be going home for whatever specified amount of time that we're looking at. So just be aware that unless we change the code status to DNR with treatment, which means you will continue doing everything that you're doing but will not put him on the ventilator, that is potentially could happen in the next few days until the family.
I think the
get
census
together.
was just keep the flu code only so that family has opportunity to get there, because their wish too is to let them get there this
Correct.
evening.
But what Dr. Malik's saying is that the risk is so great because he's being exposed to so many people right now that if he was to encounter something else on top of stacking what he already has, because he's a full code, they have to intubate him. They will have to stick the tube down.
And then the family will not be
The
able to
family
interact
won't
with
have
him.
time with it.
Then
They
the
won't have
family
time.
he'll be sedated and he will be completely, they can see him physically, but that's about it.
What does
I
he
think there will
want?
be
Has
no
he-
meaningful
has
interaction.
He said what he wanted with the flu code on the ventilator, could he specify?
Dad, what do you want?
Dr. Frank, you have anything to add?
You guys know that full
Well,
code
basically
versus
what we had
DNR
talked about
treatment
a little
is
bit
still
yesterday
easy.
is that the thinking was, in terms of keeping him at a full code status, since the family has not all been together to say goodbye, there was a preference to being able to say goodbye to him while he was on a ventilator, rather than, not being able to see him while he still is technically alive. it's more of a, it would be good to be able to say your final goodbye before taking him off the ventilator. And I think even long term, we talked about before if he was going to be when he was not sick, full code versus DNR status, he definitely did not want anything in terms of long term ventilatory care. I would say, my opinion would be try to have the family, talk, get everybody together, and then when feel appropriate, then talk about moving to the DNR status.
Okay.
Let Debbie and Ally and the guys know the risk of what's gonna happen and see if move it to the DNR status prior to them getting here, or not, kind of leaving it up to their own.
Okay.
That's a lot of doctor terms, and I want to have one of you guys talk.
All right, so we're not gonna make anything different right now until after the rest of the family is here.
Well, there's
So that's fine with us. I mean,
Yeah.
we can do what you tell us to do, but you have to know that not doing anything has its own consequences.
Oh, I
And,
understand
and
that.
that's, just
Yeah.
wanna make sure.
well, I
that's-
mean, he's been in this
Right.
thing for a week now, and whatever we're doing right now, he's okay with.
He has a very strong heart. He wants to go home. And I'm sure that you'll never have to put him in a ventilator here until he gets home when he wants to be at home. So he has a strong heart for that. Right, Dad?
I didn't hear all of what you said.
Yeah, we'll talk some more as a group with hospice.
Yes, and the questions that you're asking
Yes.
about transitioning to home care
Right,
and maintaining him at home.
uh-huh,
Well, I saw my wife when she went down, and we had the same health care. And I'll say, this lady's labor was super.
And so the thing that I would like to say is really the experts in managing someone like Mr. Neff who's got so many issues, the experts are the hospice folks. And in my humble experience, I've seen folks with various type of illnesses. Once hospice gets involved in the care of people at home,
right,
they're well taken care of.
they're both gonna be good.
That's
Okay.
been my experience,
Okay.
We saw what they do with our
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
so.
And so when you're saying what's the transition like and how will he be able to be managed at home,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
those are the folks that can, and
Yes,
that they can provide the best care that a person can get
right.
in their home can be through hospice.
I think the biggest question